Hello and welcome to China Boot Camp. My name is James Tremont. China Boot Camp provides China entry consulting, visitation services, and intensive Mandarin and cultural immersion as part of our mission to energize entrepreneurship and transform the merger and acquisition industry on a global scale using China as a platform. This is our third video in our series. The first was called Welcome and Introduction. The second called Caution Gap, Perfect Storm of Opportunity and Challenge. And today I want to talk to you about the Mandarin language, its place and priority in planning and executing your China entry. Mandarin is really the elephant in the room when it comes to China entry. We say that because it is rarely taken seriously when discussing entry into China. Yet it is such an obvious consideration. I guess people just had the money to burn in the past. That is changing, and I'm here to tell you it is now a definitive business, work, and for my time and money, living requirement. So why was Mandarin scuttled as a requirement in the past? I'll offer a few reasons. One is that the United States and the world has had a voracious appetite for cheap goods. China had them, and with regard to purchasing those goods, for most foreigners, Mandarin could be bought rather than learned. Two, foreigners were not integrating into the culture. They were not integrating into the culture for two reasons. One reason is that it didn't make sense for business, and the second reason is it didn't matter for living quality. Foreigners were enjoying the best life possible in a developing country with an extremely low standard of living, and most were here short term, typically less than 3 years, or flying in temporarily to do business. 3. Due to not having a Romanized alphabet system, the Chinese language has proven to be difficult for foreigners to learn. 4. The huge social, cultural, and educational discipline gaps between China and America made the absorption of Chinese highly thwarted. Let's be clear, no foreigner doing $500 million deals in China is negotiating or laying down deals speaking Mandarin. Nor are they communicating and managing Chinese staff and line managers directly on a daily basis. These are the true expats, foreign experts, here to run capital investments for large multinationals. Yet even for these people, it must be a blow to their hard-charging independent nature to rely on others to execute everything for them on a daily basis, including the most mundane things, let alone for their spouses. So let's give them a pass for the moment and talk about 3 groups of people that are integral to China, and you may fall into one of these. One is the burgeoning BMWs. Those are bilingual middle manager Westerners. A second is called Halfpats. These are people who actually want to be here, have a social and business network, and are speaking Chinese. A third group is executives who will be dealing with the burgeoning Chinese middle class, want an integrated life, and need to get into the minds, motivations, and buying determinants of Chinese consumers, as well as communicate with staff on a regular basis. Businesses and business people that can operate in Mandarin and gain fluency will be chosen to participate and contribute in the growth of China, while those that do not will be left behind. The game has changed in China. Let me give you 5 quick reasons or ways the game has changed. China is a nice place to live. China's growth is unprecedented and unparalleled. The export market is drying up due to the consumption collapse in America, and U.S. import restrictions are on their way. China is much more savvy and educated in nearly every way after 60 years of communist rule and 30 years of capitalistic trade. China's growth is pinned on 300 to 500 million new middle-income earners and consumers. The onus is on you to become relevant in China. The days of Western relevance being taken as fait accompli is over. The opportunities in China have now made it both reasonable and required to be more strategic and long-term with regard to your entry in China. It makes sense to spend the time and money up front to enter correctly, even on an individual level. I see experts and experienced professionals sent to China every day, expected to perform, and yet they are given no upfront language training, let alone an intensive immersion. 6 to 12 months into their project, and it's evident the results will not be forthcoming. Do not send your people to China without investing in their success first. Invest first, proactively building a solid foundation in the beginning, and their skills and level of assimilation will grow exponentially, paying returns each and every day. China is no longer, quote, cheap, and due to technology, your time is more valuable than ever. The days of stumbling through China are over. It is time to execute. The alternative is to leak resources, opportunities, and money, ending in eventual frustration and lackluster results. We promise our program will teach you Mandarin 300 to 400% faster, enabling you to become fluent in a time period that makes sense both personally and financially. The fact is, without a system that offers you results this rapid, you would not become fluent and you would not have significant or long-lasting success in China. The type, size, and speed of growth in China are changing and will require your full involvement. Translating your experience, both literally or metaphorically, is a heavy footprint and will cause you to not be here. China has a fantastic firewall and it has nothing to do with technology. It is built into the minds, hearts, and bodies of the people. Are you one of the few, maybe 2% of the population, that enters China and can achieve fluency using normal methods and discipline? How long will it take you? And do you have that kind of time? Are you part of the decreasing 10% or less that don't need fluency or will not be here long enough to want it? What about being here, the part that grammar and vocabulary do not participate in? Are you learning language skills as well as vocabulary and grammar that are required to speak the language at any level? And are you learning them at the right pace for you and as early as possible? Are you being guided and coached over the learning hurdles or dispassionately and in simple fashion fed lesson after lesson in order to fulfill your hourly contract agreement? Is your language learning being leveraged and is it leveraging your cultural assimilation, allowing you to make breakthroughs and accelerate learning? Do other programs you are considering even know what perturbation is, let alone how to perturbate you? These are the techniques, aspects, and results we provide at China Boot Camp, and our program is comprehensive. That means it applies to anyone wanting to live or work in China. You are already more knowledgeable about China and China entry than most people. You know how the landscape in China is changing and why learning Chinese is vital to your success. If you have more questions, just ask. Our entry consulting program is designed to assist your success. Now, we invite you to learn more about how we offer such outstanding results, so you can explain to loved ones, neighbors, and associates why you're taking the time to do things right and up front in the beginning. It's not that your strategic, well-designed, proactive process for addressing needs and questions doesn't make sense to other people. It is just that most people are not aware of the necessity, value, or availability of a comprehensive program such as ours until you tell them. You can begin your pre-entry consulting right away with very little effort or commitment and get the ball rolling. Within no time, you'll be telling other people about your entry program and you'll be telling them in Chinese. That is progress anyone can believe.